Hi everybody, I'm Vera
Christina here
from
Soul's Enlightenment.
As if we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, somebody may not.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and today,
yes,
we're going to talk about
Dharmic
exits.
Dharmic exits. So recently, Vera and I did a video about exit points, which is the exits that we chart in our life blueprint to lead this life. And typically we have five. And a Dharmic exit is going to be, it could be one of the 4 earlier exits.
Yeah, not the last one.
Yeah, right. But what makes it Dharmic is, it's sort of like a cell memory thing. So we wanted to talk about what exactly is a Dharmic exit. Our Dharma is our responsibility.
Right.
And a Dharmic exit is something where it's begun in a past life. So like, let's say if we took an exit in a past life that drastically affected a loved one.
Right.
Really severely affected their life in some way, then we kind of want to make it up to them in a life in which we come back in
With that person.
And we don't take that exit point because it could repeat.
An early exit point.
Yeah. It could repeat again.
Right.
It kind of sounds a little confusing, but we have a really good example, don't we?
Why don't you give it so it makes more sense?
Yeah, okay. So there's a woman that we know and her son in this life. And they had a past life together in which she was like his world. She was everything to him. And he was going through some really difficult challenges. His relationship, his job, everything in his past life wasn't going well. And his mother passed away. And it just devastated him, and he actually took his own life.
Right.
So he committed suicide. And in this life, she was only in her, because they're in this life, and he is her son again. And they have the same close relationship. And she was only in her 30s in this life, and she had a near-death experience. And she heard, she was going to the light, and she heard a male's voice talking to her that she saw, and she believed it was Jesus at the time. And she said that he asked her, do you want to come home or do you want to go back, stay in life? And she said, she remembers on a soul level, she answered him saying, I can't leave now because my son needs me. And then they were able to revive her. So that was a really good example of a Dharmic exit, because she's in a way repaying him. It's in a good way, because she stayed in life because she knew on a soul level that it would repeat and he would do the same thing in this life. So that is one of the things that we wanted to explain to you. That's one of the reasons that we might not take one of our exit points.
Exactly.
But there's also another point that somebody was asking us. They wanted to know, is suicide an exit point?
No.
You want to tell them?
No. Suicide is not an exit point. In fact, it's a break in our contract with God. And I mean, at the point, you understand the turmoil that the people are going through. And a lot of times they do it and they really didn't mean to do it, but it happens. But it's a break in the contract, your life contract with God. So you have to come back and repeat maybe not the same exact life, but one similar to that, and sometimes even more difficult.
Exactly, because it has so many of those life lessons that we charted.
And a lot of times, whenever this happens to me all the time, it's like I feel like something is really horrible that's going on in my life, and it's never going to change. And not one day. I mean, one day made the difference.
Isn't that
it's
the truth?
Like, oh my God, here I was thinking I was going to be doomed to this rest of this kind of a life, and in just one day it changed. So if you can give just, one person that chance, just saying, just wait one more day.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
And that's a point that we really wanted to bring forward, because, we work really hard to be here right now. Only the strongest of the strong are allowed to come into this planet.
So that
because
gives
it's so
you
challenging.
Yeah.
And to have the knowledge that we have, to know about past lives and our life lessons and our chart.
You know, that's why I'm so grateful to Sylvia. Because,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
without that, it gives you an explanation about why things happen in your life, why you do the things that you do, you know, and to be able to, like, help somebody that's crossing over that's afraid, like my dad. He was so afraid to die because he felt like he was such a bad person because he drank, he had affairs.
Right.
But, I mean, when I explained to him what happens, and it's not anything against his character, it's just something that he was learning, you know, and going through and experiencing, so that he can, you know, make changes. And he was, I mean, he had a smile on his face when he died.
Really?
Like my mom was right there. He called out her name, and he died.
Because she was already passed over.
Oh, she was already passed over, yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. So, you know, she told him that she would come to him.
You know, and I think maybe, do you think that some of that fear is from sometimes we're programmed in religion to think
Catholic.
Of judgment.
He thought he was going to hell. Yeah, and I was like, no, there's no way, you know.
Yeah, that's one last thing that we wanted to mention to any of you who might have lost a loved one to suicide. A lot of times religions will say, oh, they're going to hell and you're never going to see them again. It's actually not true. Mm-hmm. The only sense that could be not true, but taken like that, is because in our philosophy, this is like our hell, because we have disease and abuse and those types of things in this world. So we come back here, but then when they're done, after they finish that life, you're going to see them again on the other time. I mean, on the other side, exactly. So you will see them again. Yeah. So anyway, that's one of the beautiful, amazing things about this spiritual philosophy, is it gives us answers, and it takes away that fear, because when we pass over, like you said, the only one that judges us is ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Sharing such great information, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.